Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another session of Speak Your Mind. I know it was, we were missing last week, and many of you were asking what happened to the show. So we just want you to know that we were here, but we were absent in a way at the same time. We helped cover the event at the Multicultural Center, the Miss Caribbean World, last weekend, so that's why the show went live. But we're live tonight. We're here to answer your questions, to help guide you. So right off the bat, we want you to just call your friends and folks and let them know that Speak Your Mind is on. Again, this is a show that allows you to express yourself without anyone coming down hard at you. So call somebody and let them know that the show is on. It's live. We also can be viewed on the World Wide Web. jtvlive.net. You can tune in and watch the show live, call folks overseas, or send them a text and email and let them know they can tune in. They can also send us texts. The number would be on the TV screen shortly. Tonight we're going to have an excited show, at least for the first half. I got two excited people in the studio with me tonight. They're going to talk about what's coming up in 2 weeks on the 25th, I believe 26th and 27th of this month. The BVI Music Fest is here. It's live. It's going to be exciting. A lot of folks didn't think we were going to have a music fest, but we got two excited young people that stepped up to the plate and get ready to bring this thing live to the BVI. Of course, the music fest have a lot of benefits, and we're going to try to explore some of those tonight. So without any further ado, I don't want to hold the show up. I'm gonna introduce them. I'll let them introduce themselves. To my far right, I have
Mr. Connor Klein, president of the 2012 Music Festival Committee.
Next.
I think everybody should know me by now. People are saying that they're tired of hearing me on the radio and tired of seeing me on the television, but I'm Rodney Skelton. I came on board as the event coordinator for this year's event.
All right, so we have Mr. Connor Klein and Rodney Skelton. Of course, my name is Julia Henry. Some of you know me by Sam. Before we go, I want to say, I promised some students. I did a historical tour. It's one of the longest historical tours I've ever done with students of this territory, and I must say it's one of the few that I really enjoy, and it was with the students of Willard Wheatley. So I know the guys are watching. I didn't know that so many young people are actually tuning into this show. Class 5 and Class 4. They told me they want us to come, myself and my co-host, to come out one day and do a Speak Your Mind segment right at the school. So ladies and gentlemen, all you parents out there, your kids have a lot to say. If you think they're just not paying attention, one of the question on our tour, you know, in addition to talking about historical sites and knowing the history of the BVI, we talked about politics and government structure, and I never seen so many kids that know more about VIP and NDP. They know more about that than they know about the history of the Virgin Islands. So folks, talk to your kids. It's important. Whenever you get a spare minute, go to the school, visit the school, you know, lecture some of the other classes, talk to them. Some of you folks who went to Willard Wheatley, some of the alumni, I'm one of those, so I'm talking to myself as well. We need to go back and give back to the school. We need to go back and give back to the school. So I also want to say a shout out to the folks at Right Way. I can't go to Right Way anymore without people saying, you're the guy on Speak Your Mind, and I keep telling them a big fat lie, that it's my brother and we're twins. We're not twins. I don't have a twin. It is me, so I apologize if I'm lying to you. It's just that I've never been so bombarded with this kind of fame, and I don't feel famous, but Jesus, you guys are hitting me hard. So keep it coming. Tune in, call your friends, let them know that we're on. So again, without any further ado, any more delays, we want to talk about the Music Fest. The BVI Music Fest, as you guys know, is coming up. Again, Rodney, Mr. Skelton will tell us right off the bat a little something about the Music Fest, maybe the history of the Music Fest, some of the founders of the Music Fest, and the purpose of a Music Fest.
All right, well, Mr. Henry, as you know, this Music Fest has been going on for quite a few years. This is actually the 12th year of the Music Festival. Over that period of time, we've seen about 3 different chairmen or president or leaders of the event. And I've done everything that I've done. I've given credit to where credit is due. And they say you should always give people their roses while they're still alive. And so I must give credit to Mr. Frank Mahoney, Neville Sheepsmith, people like Sherlyn Armstrong, better known as Sugar, Marjorie Smith, Ghana Skelton, Sophia Skelton. All of these folks are folks who were instrumental in getting the music festival started back in 2000. The event was started primarily to help to bridge that gap between our slow season and our on season. You being a tour operator, you understand how those seasons work, and what every government and every leader of the tourist board has been trying to do is to bridge that gap so that we don't have a slow season. And this event was one such event that everybody came on board and thought that it could help to bridge the gap, and it has. It has extended our season for a week or 2, and we need more events like this. It doesn't have to be a musical event. It can be a film event, it can be a food event, book signings. There are lots of things that we can do out there that are not necessarily that expensive that can help to bridge the gap in our on season and our slow season when it comes to tourism. We know that's one of our major economic pillars. So big shout outs, big credit to Frank Mahoney and his group. Big shout outs to Al Henley and Daniel Pops Klein, who carried the mantle, and now I have President Connell Klein here, who is trying to continue to do the same thing. This event is very important to the BVI. I've heard, the pros and the cons. To the folks who have the cons and, they're of the opinion that maybe we could do something different with $150,000, you show me where the BVI government can spend $150,000 and bring back revenue of $3 to $4 million in 2 weekends. Somebody, I would like all the critics out there, someone show me where we can get that type of return on investment.
So it's about investment.
Yes.
Obviously, with the flow of tourism, you're saying that the Music Fest is designed in particular to help generate revenue to our territory, and I can testify to that. Again, I am a tour operator, so I've been in the shoes where I've been able to capitalize on that. But let me ask you this. As far as the artists and so forth, obviously you have a really good lineup, and the artists are designed to generate, more of a following, a traffic flow into the BVI. Some of the critics have said that they don't think the wealth spread wide enough. What do you say to those critics?
Well, initially, and this happens, and I've spoken about this several times, there's something called the multiplier effect, and everything is that trickle down, and in the BVI it's not going to be a trickle down, it's going to be a trickle across. And it's like when you throw that pebble into the pond and you see the waves ripple, same thing is happening with the music festival. The initial beneficiaries obviously are going to be places like hotels, car rentals, things of that nature. The place where you're going to have the first direct impact is going to be King Garden Bay. You're going to have the businesses, you're going to have the villas, and they are the ones who are going to be the direct beneficiaries. But it extends further. All of our car rentals are not in King Garden Bay. All of our hotels are not in King Garden Bay. You have persons, you said you operate tours. There are tours going off to Virgin Gorda. People want to see the baths while they're here. People, if you get a chance, you want to go over to Anegada. The effect is very much widespread. If we did not have this event, hotels are saying that they would be at 20-30% occupancy. With this event, we're at 80%. King Garden Bay is completely sold out. They have to hire folks. The folks that they're hiring don't live in King Garden. They don't all live in King Garden Bay. They live East End. They live West End. They live all over the place. They have to put gas in their vehicles. I think people, I don't think we'd have this discussion with an economist or someone who understands finance. We would not have this discussion. This would be automatic for them. They can clearly see where the effect of the revenue stream transcends the entire BVI.
Great. Folks, you're hearing it live. I support what Mr. Skelton is saying. It does benefit the territory, and I think he's right across the board, not just up or down. I just want to say real quick, going forward, the phone lines are open early. I'm not going to hold back. I want to give you guys a chance to call in, air your concern. We have a long agenda. I'm asking you, if you have to make a call because you feel the need to and you want to, whether it's complain or support, limit your calls to about 3 to 5 minutes. State your position, and then let someone else get a chance to call in, because we have a long agenda. There's a lot of information we want you guys to hear. Also, we want to give you guys a chance to call in and win tickets. I mean, that's one of the benefits of this music fest. Not only does it benefit folks coming in, they going home with the fat pockets. You yourself can go down and enjoy some of these artists for free, just by tuning in, listening to the questions, listening to the interview. I think it's a worthwhile one. So again, the phone lines are open. Don't hesitate. I know it's going to be a lot of stuff to try to hit the text. So if you can call. All right, the number is on screen, so call us. Mr. Skelton or even Mr. Klein, tell us a little bit about the artists. I mean, who's coming? I mean, that's something that people are always wondering about. Who's coming? And is people are they going to be excited to see the artists that, when they come?
Well, first of all, me, myself, I have to be excited to be able to pass it down to the rest of the community. I'm definitely excited. We went back to the original, genre of things, where we have the soca and calypso on the Friday night, and Saturday night we have the reggae dancehall kind of feel, and then on Sunday you have more of a laid-back R&B, cool, relaxed vibes. Friday, right after, we're gonna have music kicking off early in the day by a local DJ.
What time?
Started from 4. Started
okay.
from 4 p.m. Then after that, we kick off the event by having an opening ceremony where the premier will be there, be able to say a few words. I will say a few words. Mr. Rodney Skelton will say a few words, And then after that, we go straight into the VI All Stars Showcase segment. I think that segment, I want a lot of supporters to come down and support,
So when you say VI All Stars, you mean local artists?
Local artists.
Okay.
Local artists, all from here. I think guys gonna be getting, their money's worth for this one.
So that's important right there. We should emphasize that a little bit more.
Yeah.
You're obviously gonna have local artists. You're gonna give them a chance to.
We're having a show within the show with these local artists.
And they're gonna be on the main stage.
Main stage for about 2 hours. For about 2 hours, and then we go into the real, nitty-gritty of the show.
Well, it's all real.
Yeah.
Or we just giving a local artist a chance to be a part of this, because it's theirs too.
Exactly. Okay. All right.
And what we've tried to do, if I can interject for you, what we've tried to do is give our local artists the main stage.
Yeah.
In past years, and not just the music festival, with different events, we find that our locals are performing 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, when nobody's there. And this is an argument that we continue to hear. I know that there's an artist association that has just been formed, and this is one of the issues that they want to tackle. We have some artists that are very well developed. These artists are internationally known. These artists have put forward 3-4 CDs. Their music has hit the tops in the Caribbean, and yet still we have them performing at 4 o'clock. Nobody's on the beach. Who gets a chance to sample this music? Potential producers may be there, persons who want to buy their music. So what we've done is we've pushed the VI All Stars, focusing on all stars. It's not everybody. It's not every Tom, Dick, and Harry that jumps up and has a CD is going to make it to this segment.
The one that makes sense.
These are the top artists that we have. We're talking about Weeda.
Okay.
Ritical.
Mm-hmm.
Maccabee. Shine Eye.
Nice.
Lincoln Ward.
Nice.
B-More. NJR. And the list goes on and on.
So these guys going to be not just Friday night, but maybe Saturday night, Sunday night as well, or just Friday night they're going to be performing.
We have two of the artists from this lineup are going to be there on the Saturday night too as well, which is Ritical and Shine Eye.
Okay.
Because that's a more R&B, that's a more reggae.
Yeah. So you match them based on the theme.
Based on the theme. But this show is a show. This is a show that you can leave and you would have gotten everything. And I want want to say something. On the end of this All-Star Showcase, we have a surprise. There's a genre of music that we're putting forward that has not been heard in the BVI.
Awesome.
Sam, you and I go way back. You're going to want to be there at the end of the All-Star Showcase.
Well, not just me, but the listening audience.
Listen,
Folks, listen. You heard it live.
I'm talking to you because we're having a casual conversation here. But everybody out there, at the end of this show, we have a local artist that's going to blow everybody's mind. I'm not tooting horns.
So you're going to give us a little hint?
No.
Male or female?
Male.
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 Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it.
Male.
At the end of this segment, we're going to have, our mind's going to be blown.
You're going to want to know where this music is coming from.
So the point is that the music fest is alive and well. We have international artists, we have local artists. These guys have decided this year to really fuse the local artists with the international play to give them a real stand, world stand. I mean, from what I understand, that the music fest this year will be telecast via the internet.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's the first time, right?
First time.
First time. So we're making history. But we don't want you to sit at home and think that you can view it on the internet. The point of stimulating the economy and generating this type of event, festival event, is to get you out of your house, to come down, support it. It's a safe, fun thing to do. Support the folks in the area. Rent a car from somebody in East End, like Mr. Skelton said, and enjoy the event. You yourself is a tourist. You're a domestic tourist, and we want you to be a part of that. In addition to the artists and so forth, obviously there's always been a lot of concern about traffic. I know some people are probably sitting there going, traffic, security. Tell us a little bit. I mean, the last time the event was held inside a cage, and it was really disheartening, even for myself. I mean, I was sitting on the tourist board, and I remember sitting in the tourist board saying, this is ridiculous. You take away secure parking, you take away an escape route. It was a parking also for ambulance and EMTs and so forth. Now you guys have moved it from that location and put it back on the beach. Tell us a little bit about the flow of traffic, the security, the emergency setup. How is it going to work this year?
Yeah, I don't know if you know exactly where the stage is going to be placed. It's adjacent to the graveyard down at King Garden Bay, on the beach side. This year we're using that area where Green VI is located for EMTs, police.
That's a parking lot adjacent to Myatt's.
Exactly.
Right in front of it.
Exactly. EMTs, police, fire. All these type of people are going to be, Red Cross going to be in the same area because, they work hand in hand with each other.
All right, 1 second. Let me just go to the phone real quick. Hold your thought. We're going to come back to that. Go ahead, Jan. Speak your mind. Go ahead, please.
Good night.
Good night. How are you?
Fine. When my uncle Jedi Aaron will be there.
Will your uncle Jedi Aaron be there?
Aaron is going to be there, sweetheart. Uncle Aaron is performing during the VI All-Stars. He is one of the All-Star artists that we have in the BVI, so Aaron the Jedi will be there.
What day is he going to be on?
He's there on that Friday.
Friday night, sweetheart. You can come out and see your uncle perform. You going to come out?
Yes.
Awesome. How old are you?
10.
10 years old. So as soon as he's finished performing, you have to go home, okay?
Yeah.
We're promoting responsible tourism also. So as soon as your uncle's finished performing, tell mom and dad, whoever's watching the TV with you, you have to go home because then the adults and the craziness come out after. No, it's not going to be crazy. It's a family fun event, so you can stay as long as your mom and dad is with you, okay?
But my mom and dad will be selling.
Well, that's all right. You come and support. Don't put your mom and dad business on the street. But it's okay. Tell them to come out. Hold on.
Do you live in the Seacoast Bay area?
Yes.
Okay, you know the Razor Blades?
I knit.
You know the Razor Blades?
Yes.
Well, the Razor Blades are also performing in the music festival, and they are one of our young Fungi bands, and I'm sure you have some family who's performing in the Razor Blades too. Okay, so
Uncle.
your uncle performs in the Razor Blades too?
Yes.
Okay, well, so your uncle is going to be featured all over the music
Your
festival.
uncle's double dipping.
He plays the triangle.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Well, it's nice of you to come and call in and support your uncle, okay?
And he raps.
He raps too. But you could be his promoter. Well, thank you so much for the call, okay? Have a great night and keep watching.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, sweetie. Rodney, we have some young fans. Obviously,
great.
this thing is really part of the BVI community. So, again, Mr. Klein, you were talking
Yeah,
about
I want-
security and staging of the ambulance and EMTs and so
Yeah,
forth.
they'll be right there close by to the venue, in case anything happens. And you was talking about the flow of traffic.
Yeah.
We're trying to do the same thing that we've done every year, which is the one way in, the one way out. The shuttles will stop right there by the park area, land their customers and then keep straight down to Arundel and then up to Windy Hill, to head back into Rotown. I wanted to get back to the artist lineup for Friday though. After the VI All-Star Showcase, we go to Extreme Band. Right, they're gonna start things off, and then with their local music, as well as after that Fireman Hooper out of St. Vincent, and then wrapping up the show will be TZ and LA Crew out of Antigua.
And that's Friday.
That's Friday night's
Okay.
lineup. Okay.
Very nice. All right, let's go to the phone real quick. We got another call. The phone is going to be hot tonight. I want you guys to know that. Go ahead, you want to speak your mind, speak?
Hello, good evening. Yes, I just want to ask the promoters if they have any plans to have any Californians on the show. Any local Californians?
You want some old guys on the show too, huh?
Yes, I want to know how come no local Californians are on the show and why is that?
Well, you're asking the right people. Let's see what they have to say.
All right. What we have to recognize is that we won't be able to get everybody at every time. I would love to have a little bit more Latin flavor. We know we have a big Latin community here, but unfortunately we're working with very limited funds, and with the timing that we had to select the artists that we could within our budget. At future periods, it would be no problem to have local Calypsonians, a little Latin. We have a Haitian community here. There's lots that we can do, but we have to remember what the music festival is, and the music festival is about bringing tourists to our shores. This is not necessarily the August Festival, and we have to understand the difference between both. The August Festival is something that's a little bit more cultural. And this is a place where you can feature a lot more of the indigenous music. Yes, we're going to make space for it on our BVI Music Festival, and so I'm not slighting them at all. I enjoy every Calypso show there is.
But what I'm saying that if you're promoting Fungi, you can as well promote Calypso as well. I mean, I don't see any reason why you're saying now that you can't put Calypso on the show as well.
I'm not saying that we can't put Calypso on the show, sir. What I said is that we did not get a chance to slide them in for this show. But next year, with a little bit more planning, a little bit more time, we plan to encompass a little bit of everything.
Carla, let me ask you a question. If you had a chance to recommend at least one Calypsonian, who would you recommend?
Well, there's not. Well, I mean, at least I would expect at least the King or the Monarch to be on the show. I mean, or even the first runner. I'm just saying that. I mean, it's just a blatant disregard of the art form in the BVI. I mean, it's not just the music fest. We're talking about the last year. I remember Spa was here, and no Calypsonians were on the show. You had all the local artists singing pop and all that, and you here to have the Calypso King of the world and no Calypsonians on the show. I mean, I just think that basically in this country, Calypsonians are seen as second-class citizens, and I think that we need to understand that Calypso is also part of our culture.
I understand. Let me ask you this: would you be recommending some for the August Festival? Obviously, that's. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I also agree with Mr. Skelton. Understanding the platform of the Music Fest and what it's designed to do. We're trying to generate more of an awareness for the BVI tourism product. The only way you can do that.
I understand what you're saying there, but what I'm saying is that I believe that even if it was just one or two Calypsonians, I don't think it would make a difference because you're looking for more like a variety of artists and to give people different tastes.
Yeah, but we want.
If you're saying that you have a Calypso night and you have a reggae night and then you have a night for R&B, then you would expect that at least on a Calypso night that you would have Calypsonians. I'm just saying that sounds natural natural and logical to me.
Yeah, well, it does because you're thinking the way you're thinking, which is fine. But again, the focus of the Music Fest, any Music Fest, when you look at the Music Fest around the Caribbean, the artists that they bring to those Music Fests generate attention, they generate traffic, they generate international people to the territory, so you could stimulate the economy. And I am not saying that our local artists can't do that. We're simply saying that it's designed to bring people in. And what we're trying to do also, and I agree with you, we could have maybe had one. You know, I think.
I'm listening to the show, and they're saying that they have one night, which is they're going back to the old format where they have one night, which is calypso and soca. The second night is reggae and other music, and then the third night is the pop and the laid back music. So I'm just saying that on the first night when you have calypso and soca, I'm just asking a logical question: why are there no calypsonians on that night?
It's very logical. I got a next call on the phone, but listen, I think you made an interesting point. Well, since you have the two guys that could make it happen, we still got 2 weeks left. So why not let's challenge them, you know what I mean? Maybe they can get one of those guys on it, and would that satisfy your craving, and maybe you'll definitely come out and support the event?
Well, definitely. I mean, I would have second thoughts about it for sure.
But you're gonna come out regardless, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because we want your money. We want your money out your pocket. If you live in East End, we want you to drive.
But I want to see things done right as well. I mean, you want to make sure that everybody gets a fair share.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is something that belongs to the BVI, and I believe that you should give everybody a chance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we got another big event coming up, and I'm hoping that it will turn it into a real BVI spectacular. I think, I personally believe that that's the forum to exhibit our local talent, our culture, our heritage, lineage, the whole nine. I think that's really where it's at. But again, I agree with you that Mr. Skelton and Mr. Klein could have had at least one local calypsonian. So you're absolutely right. But I do have another call. Thank you so much for the call. If you want to call back. Let's hear a little bit more of what's going on with the Music Fest.
All right, man. Okay, cool.
Thank you. Well, there you go, Mr. Skelton, Mr.
Right.
Klein. Obviously, that's a caller that really likes calypso.
He really likes calypso, and I believe we all know who that caller was.
Yeah.
But we won't put him on the spot.
Yeah.
But I know we're working on some things with the Calypsonians for the August Festival as well. I will take, and I think Mr. Klein agrees with me. We'll take his suggestions under consideration. We won't be able to do it for this year's lineup. The lineup is already set. We already have our production managers. Everything is already set. Yeah. But it's definitely something that we'll take into consideration seriously for next year's event, and we're going to be doing events throughout the year. One of the things that we're doing differently this year is instead of waiting for the government, I know you have a caller, instead of waiting for the government to come up with the funding to get us jump started, we want to jump start. We want to book artists ahead of time. So we're going to be having shows throughout the year, and we may be able to slide in some Calypsonians then.
Like that. Go ahead, Johan, speak your mind. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good evening.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Arguable, it's about tourism for the Music Fest. But, to me, most of the people that come to the Music Fest come from the side. Arguable.
Okay, we're hearing you, but you're breaking up really bad. I think you're saying most of the people that come to the Music Fest something.
Okay, yeah, I would say most of the people that come to the Music Fest is, arguable. If you come from the U.S.
You're saying they're good or they're bad? What are you saying?
No, I said they come, most of the guests that come from the USVI, right?
Well, we do have people come from the United States too. I have a lot of friends coming out from New York. I got people coming from Atlanta. It all depends on the connection. Again, the Music Fest depends on the artists that you're bringing in. You have artists throughout the world where people follow them, no matter where they go. And that's one of the ideas behind the Music Fest, is to promote the destination by having certain artists.
Yeah, the point I'm trying to make, TZ and LA Crew. Yeah, they are. But Spectrum Band from St. Thomas, to me, is just as good as them or better, and they got a huge following from the USVI. I mean, I think you all should at least consider pushing them in there,
What about, maybe we could get them into Carrot Bay. What do you think?
Yeah, Carrot Bay, but for sure. But
would you like that though? Would it help Carrot Bay a lot?
Yeah.
You sound like my good friend from Carrot Bay.
We don't go and no, but what I'm saying for you, the first one, because that's the band that's happening now.
Yeah, but
The land in the States and in St. Thomas and in VI, they have like a big family. Lorna Fremont, she's up here, and you're just a you know.
yeah, but Carla, to be fair to the guys who are really trying, and I must say, this whole event, it's a late start. These guys are really, the backer is up against the wall. I mean, you know, $150,000 to promote a destination such as the BVI that has so much to offer is really no money. But these guys have done a wonderful job. So they can't have everybody on the rostrum, right?
Yeah, they have, but Spectrum would have been cheaper than LA.
Carla, if you don't mind me interjecting for a little bit. First of all, you say at least we should have considered. We have considered all of our regional bands, USVI and BVI. I know I've heard persons say, well, why isn't the 5-time Road March champion Showtime on the lineup? Why isn't Blue Essence Band, who is arguably one of our better musical bands, on the lineup? These bands are so good. They're performing in Atlanta. You have to remember, this is Memorial Day. They're performing in Atlanta for Memorial Day.
And you're right. I think Spectrum might be in Atlanta too.
I'm telling you,
But before we miss this part also, I want, well, since you're representing the USVI and what we could have gotten out there, I want... I understand that. You also a Centomian too. But I want the folks who are viewing this show live over in the U.S. Virgin Islands, our sisters and brothers and our friend over there, they have supported us a lot, and we expect them to support us again. There is ferry service coming from the USVI. We want them to know that before, since you're on the line, we want them to know that they can come to the event. There's still probably a few rooms outside of King Garden Bay where they can rent. There's still rental cars that can take their bookings, and but there's ferry service coming in. I'm going to jump the agenda a minute while you're still online and have Mr. Skelton tell us about the ferry service coming out of St. Thomas.
All right.
Well, the ferry service is the same as it's always been. We've gotten a lot of support from the USVI because we must admit that, we're brothers and sisters together. We have ferries coming. I think there's going to even be one from St. Croix, normal St. Thomas ferries. Those ferries are going to be able to come directly into King Garden Bay and clear. Passengers can simply walk off, and in about 2-3 minutes they're going to be on the beach with toes in sand. Private vessels will be able to come directly into King Garden Bay. Customs, immigration, and police will be there in clearly marked vessels that you can dock up alongside. Clear your vessel, clear your passengers. You come up to the dock right there by Quito's. And we'll be able to collect your donation at that dock at Quito's. We will also have a checkpoint there as well. Am I missing anything?
In St. Thomas, where would they be able to pick up the ferry? Which ferry is running, and what are the time schedules?
All right, we don't have the time schedules as yet. Those will be out. It's practically going to be the same normal schedule. I think the last ferry is going to leave the USVI at around 10 o'clock and come back immediately after the show is finished. So we're covering everybody, and I do hear the concerns. Like Brother Henry said, we just simply can't get everybody on, and then it comes down to availability. Right? Nobody questions Spectrum Band. Nobody questions Pumpa or Pure Passion, but Pure Passion isn't there anymore. But any of the more notable bands, it's just a matter of availability.
I'm so sad. I'm one of the missing.
So you're gonna come either way, though, right?
No, I'll be in Atlanta.
You're going to be in Atlanta? What are you going to Atlanta for?
See? You're going to see Spectrum in Atlanta?
I got some business to deal with up there.
Okay. Reschedule. But anyway, thanks a lot for the call, eh? We really love the support.
Cool.
All right, so guys, I think, we have some very interesting callers. We're going to take a break real quick, just to make it possible for the folks that make this show possible. So, folks, don't go away. Don't change the channel. Stay tuned. I don't think you're going to find a hotter show, something that's, encouraging, enthusiastic. Again, we got some really, we got a big agenda, and we need to cover that agenda. So, join us back.